Donald Trump has increased his commanding victory in the US election, completing a clean sweep of all 7 swing states. The projected win for Arizona tonight means the incoming president finishes with 312 electoral college votes to Kamala Harris's 226. Mr. Trump and the Republican Party are heading towards control of both houses of Congress too, which would allow Mr. Trump to quickly enact his agenda. The White House has announced that the current president will meet Mr. Trump this week to discuss the peaceful transfer of power. North America correspondent Carrington Clark reports from New Jersey.
It's one of America's favourite pastimes. Ahead of a college football game, getting together for some tailgating, food, drinks and games. But these young men have already had one victory this week.
18 years old and I'm from Pennsylvania and voted for Donald J. Trump. I feel that, he provides the most security for this country.
Younger men like myself in 18 to 22-year-old range, they felt like almost pushed away from society. And I understand a lot of people resonate with President Trump.
Young men like these decisively switched allegiance. At the last election, they favoured Democrats by 15 percentage points. This time, they supported Trump by 14.
When a candidate like Trump, who touts kind of hyper-masculinity and will play into that and in being, many of his supporters call him a man's man or the kind of candidate you want to have a beer with, this really resonated with men, and it's really resonated with young men.
It's not just young men shifting to the right. Despite Kamala Harris making abortion rights a key part of her campaign and vying to be the first female commander-in-chief, a smaller proportion of young women voted for Harris than voted for Joe Biden back in 2020. While no single demographic decided the election, certain issues were more important than others. According to AP's VoteCast, the number one issue for voters wasn't abortion or the border, but the economy, with cost of living concerns top of mind.
This election was always going to be tough because of the economy. You look at all the net negatives for the Biden-Harris administration. I'm not certain there was this magical candidate out there who suddenly could have defeated Donald Trump. I just don't believe that.
In every developed nation, the incumbent party at the end of the pandemic has lost. They have lost bad.
As the incoming administration starts to take shape, Mr. Trump also ruling people out. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo won't be in the team. But controversial anti-vax figure RFK Jr. has been tipped for a senior role. Before the next contest, the Democrats will need to work out why young people deserted them and how to win them back. And for the new administration, the challenge is how to hang on to those voters. Carrington Clark, ABC News, New Jersey.
Donald Trump has used social media, including his own website, to make these first announcements, giving the first hints that his second term will be conducted much like his first. Here's Global Affairs editor John Lyons.
Next Wednesday, there will be a meeting at the White House which should be routine, but in fact will be extraordinary. President Joe Biden will welcome Donald Trump, who is both his predecessor and successor. The meeting is part of the great ritual of American politics, designed to show how the most powerful office in this country passes smoothly. But this was a meeting that Trump denied Biden. 4 years on, Donald Trump has still not conceded that he lost the 2020 election. This will be the first extended meeting the two men have had since their famous debate in June, when Joe Biden's performance was so woeful that it effectively ended his bid for a second term. An early indication of how this Trump administration will be different came this week when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke by phone to Donald Trump, when, according to several reports, Trump handed the phone to Elon Musk to have a chat to the Ukrainian leader. While the bromance between Trump and Musk is new, two old faces who Trump has stated will not be joining his administration again are former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. One relationship that Trump clearly values is with Susie Wiles, the woman who ran this campaign that gave Trump such a definitive victory. Trump has appointed Susie Wiles as Chief of Staff of the White House, the first woman to hold the position. The Trump whisperer may provide some continuity and stability, but there are still plenty of indications that this new Trump administration may be a wild ride.